Step by step, I will become a champion.
You've seen violence doesn't just strike.
Спасибо большое организацию. Thank you so much. Organization #1 promotion UFC.
He calculates destruction. This isn't rage.
В турнире хотел именно здесь выступить и войти в историю. Мы это сделали, альхамдулилля.
You're about to meet someone whose fists move faster than your brain can register. But behind that raw aggression is something most fighters don't possess.
Alhamdulillah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Allahu Akbar.
Eerie, calculated genius. Shara Magomedov. Born in Dagestan, a place known for warriors built from grit. But Shara isn't like the rest. While others wrestled, he studied angles. Geometry, timing, human instinct, and he doesn't speak much. Doesn't celebrate, doesn't react. That silence?
Strike of this division. Israel, Dagestani, I smash you, I comb you.
That's the mark of someone who isn't just a striker, but a tactician of violence. This is not hype.
Каутирует этим ударом в бою, он должен будет отдать процент с гонорара.
This is not drama. This is the rise of the striking genius. Shara Magomedov. Watch him before the rest catch on. When most people see Shara Magomedov fight, their first reaction is raw awe. The knockouts, the kicks, the cold surgical violence. But here's the real twist. He's not just a savage, he's a genius. This is the story of a man who doesn't just fight to win. He fights like a chess master. 5 moves ahead. Let's start with the basics. Shara hails from Dagestan, a region known for producing relentless wrestlers. Ground control, grappling, pressure. But Shara, he flipped the script. Instead of going down, he stood tall. Instead of grappling, he studied geometry. Yes, geometry. Every step, every strike is pre-calculated. He angles off, resets his hips, and fires off kicks from positions no ordinary fighter would even consider. His debut in 2017 was a 43-second dismantling. Since then, he hasn't just won, he's overwhelmed. Just ask Ivan Maidenchuk, who looked like a deer on ice skates trying to find an opening.
Таких ударов, после таких подач, слушайте, не каждый может продолжать бой.
Shara read him like a book, measured the distance like a sniper, then struck, twice in under a minute, until Ivan's corner called it quits. And then there's Pavel Botsky. Smaller cage, less room. Most fighters would play it safe. Shara, he went straight in. No hesitation, just angles, levels, and pinpoint devastation. Genius isn't patience. Genius is knowing exactly when to explode. But it's not just offense. Watch how he responds to pressure. In fights against high-level wrestlers like Miko Alakverdian, Shara showed something rare: adaptability under fire. He used clinch control, elbows, knees, his entire arsenal deployed with precision and zero hesitation. He adjusts not because he's guessing, but because he sees patterns before they form. And then there's his silence. No trash talk, no emotion, no theatrics, just cold, analytical focus. The kind that unnerves, the kind that makes opponents second-guess their every move. At UFC 294, he faced Bruno Silva. Dangerous, experienced, but Shara didn't panic. He dismantled, he dictated, he exposed the spaces between the chaos. And against Antonio Trocoli, it was a slow bleed. He broke him down piece by piece until finishing him felt more like a calculation than an attack. So, is Shara Magomedov just a good striker? Number. He's the evolution of striking. A high IQ predator who understands timing, space, and structure on a different level. This isn't instinct. It's not just talent. This is genius. You can teach punches. You can't teach vision. Shara Magomedov has both. People call Shara Magomedov scary, not because he shouts, not because he talks trash, and definitely not because he looks for attention. He's scary because of what happens when the cage door shuts and the silence begins. Let's make one thing clear. Fear in combat sports doesn't come from loud personalities. It comes from unpredictability, precision, and control. And Shara has mastered all three.
Magomedov trying to occupy the space. And Page's
What makes him different from other fighters is his calm, bordering on coldness. There's no rage, no outbursts, just this haunting stillness right before he unleashes violence that seems almost inevitable. Fighters from Dagestan are often feared for their relentless wrestling, but Shara flips that expectation on its head. He doesn't suffocate you with pressure. He invites you in. He lets you throw. He lets you think you're safe, and then dismantles you with sniper-like accuracy. That's the kind of fear that eats at an opponent before the fight even starts. But there's more. Shara fights with one eye, literally. And yet, he sees everything. His timing, his reflexes, his spatial awareness, they're so sharp, you forget he has a visual limitation at all. In fact, it makes him more terrifying, because you start to realize, if he's this good with a disadvantage, what would he be like with full vision? It's unsettling. Ask Ivan Maidenchuk. Ask Pavel Botsky. Ask Antonio Truccoli. One by one, they stepped in with their game plans. But game plans don't work on someone who doesn't follow rules, who doesn't react the way a normal fighter should. They found out quickly. You can't break a man who doesn't feel pressure. You can't intimidate someone who studies pain, like a language. And you can't survive long against a striker who treats violence like math. What's truly scary about Shara isn't the damage he causes. It's the way he delivers it. Calculated, detached, sometimes even with a smile. It's the sense that he's always in control, that he's playing a game only he understands. And you're just a piece being moved closer to checkmate. That's why he's scary. Because in a sport fueled by chaos, Shara Magomedov is the calm at the center of the storm. When you hear Dagestan in the fight world, a picture immediately forms. Relentless wrestlers, suffocating grapplers, machines built from discipline, forged in the mountains. But Shara Magomedov, he doesn't fit the mold. He redefines it. Most Dagestani fighters come from the same formula: years of sambo, wrestling, and takedown mastery. They overwhelm you with pressure, drown you on the mat, and break your will round by round. And it works. The track record speaks for itself. But Shara never wanted to follow that script. From the very beginning, he made a different choice. Instead of mastering ground control, he immersed himself in striking, Muay Thai, kickboxing, range, rhythm, violence, all from the feet. While his peers drilled takedowns, Shara sharpened timing and footwork. And it shows. Where others grind out decisions, he ends fights. Where others wear you down, he dissects you. His knockouts aren't accidental, they're designed. His setups aren't flashy, they're functional. And his fights, they're not battles, they're executions. He's not better because he's from Dagestan.
Ну, там было колено, кстати. Ух ты, слева на скачке. Даже не на скачке, там такой размашистый амплитудный крюк от...
He's better because he broke the Dagestani mold. That's what makes him stand out. He brings the same discipline, toughness, and composure as his countrymen, but channels it through something the region isn't known for: striking genius. He doesn't shoot for takedowns. He times leg kicks so fast they blur on camera. He doesn't drag you into a grind. He lures you into space and turns it into a trap. And when he clinches, it's not to hold. It's to knee. Hard, accurate, vicious. It's a different kind of violence. A quiet, technical savagery. So when fans and fighters see Shara's name, they pause, because he's from a place that built a reputation on control. But he chose chaos, organized chaos, calculated chaos, the kind that can't be copied because it wasn't taught in any Dagestani gym. Shara Magomedov is not a new version of what already works. He's a blueprint for something entirely new. And then it hits you. This man, born in the same land as Khabib, trained in the same mountains, raised in the same fire, chose not to wrestle. He chose danger over dominance. He chose creativity over control. And with one working eye, he sees things others miss with two, not just punches, patterns, weaknesses, moments. Moments like this, when his opponent swings wide just once, and Shara doesn't flinch. He pivots, he calculates, and in a blink, the fight's over. That's not just instinct, that's not just power, that's the mind of a cold-blooded architect.